I keep thinking about the consecration of to Mother Mary. And as I think about this, often I'll hear people say, well, why? Why consecrate yourself to Our Lady? And I remember when I first really kind of started to ponder, that just seems weird. Why would we have to go to Our Lady when we can just love our Lord? And we can pray for his intercession. We can pray for Our Lady's intercession. We don't have to consecrate ourselves. Well, I'm going to explain why that actually is important. But first, I want to talk about why, for me personally, being consecrated to Our Lady has been so important. I think I consecrated myself to Our Lady sometime around 2012. So it's been about 8 years now. And at the time, it was, okay, I'm going to do this 33 days of preparation, all this prayer and reading. It's kind of like that 54-day rosary novena you might be jumping into. It's a big commitment. And you're going, whoa, it's a commitment. It takes a lot of time. But it's a devotion. It's a prayer. And it's something we should be carving out in our lives to do. That is pray. Perhaps you have another means of praying that you love, but this is one that people say, the saints say over and over again, consecrate yourself to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Now, one of the great fruits in my own life that I have seen in that relationship that has grown with Our Lady over the years has been, I have been so blessed with this absolute unwavering faith in uncertain times. And I really do credit it to the fidelity of Mary's intercession before the heavenly throne. You see, you know that your mother is interceding for you in heaven for you. She is there for you. And I'm not saying that she's going to give you everything you want. Like we talk about so often in prayer, God has those 3 answers, yes, no, or not yet. And Our Lady too will be there, but that doesn't mean that there can't be some resolution, whether in your own heart or in the situation that you face. I've mentioned recently, we were going through the challenges of needing to move and a lot of pieces not being put together so that we could make the decision we needed to for where to live, what that would look like. Being pregnant at the same time and uncertainty in this economy right now and with work. Those are difficult decisions that people have to make. And then you add other things that are spinning around in the world. We all have those challenges, whether in our families, with our friends, that make decisions difficult and make it seem like, well, everything's uncertain. How can I choose anything? I think that there's that unwavering faith that is a virtue and a gift from Mary's fidelity when you consecrate yourself to her. Have you ever considered making that consecration? You see, in your consecration to the Blessed Virgin Mary, you give her everything. Your heart, your body, all of your physical possessions, your emotions. You leave that in the hands of your mother, just like when you were a little child and you ran to the solace of your parents and the comfort especially of your mother, that tender comfort of your mother. You abandon everything to her. And I have to tell you, this morning I heard a story at Mass from a deacon here at our parish. And he was talking about how he had a couple of moms, neither of which he really spent time with. One mom was absent from his life from a very early age, and the stepmother wasn't there. And he talked about how I never really had that tender, loving mother until the conversion that he went through at a much later point in his adult life. And how when he went through that conversion, he started to receive just a glimpse of what it would be like to have a mother, to experience her tenderness. And he told this story that I have to tell you is so sweet when you think about it. Here's an adult man talking about how he'd imagine Our Lady was there at the kitchen table each day. And that before he'd leave the house, he'd, kind of pass by that part of the house as if he was kissing his mother goodbye for the day. And how he's done this for years and years and years. And then 2 years ago, actually, he shared on the feast day, September 8th, of the Blessed Virgin Mary's birth, how he was standing in a grocery line and he died. He had to be resuscitated and he ended up coming back to it. And then again, I think he said a handful of weeks later, it happened again. And ended up they resuscitated him again, but he died twice. And how people would ask him, well, what did you see? And he ended up saying he saw Our Lady. And she didn't say a word, but she pointed toward her cheek, where If you remember, he said he would go and imagine she was there at the kitchen table, sitting there, and he would kiss her on the cheek before leaving. You see, Our Lady is always faithful to us. In our darkest, most challenging times, she makes it so that it is not dark. It is not challenging. We hear those words, my burden is easy, my yoke is light. Remember, yoke, it's like two oxes side by side pulling a cart. You are not pulling a cart by yourself because you are there with Christ. The burden is not intense. It is all light because Christ is there with you, and he sends the angels, the saints, and most especially his mother to us to intercede for us. You see, in giving everything to Our Lady, she takes it all to her Son for him to deal with. But she implores him. See, she is our perfect mother who loves us better than any human person can. When she loves, her love is so intense. She loves and cares for our family, our friends, our loved ones on our behalf. In fact, even better than we ourselves can.